This is legitimately one of the most disrespectful anime fights I've seen in a while, and it's so short and to the point. But Sunraku legitimately gets shat on. Not only that, but it's a one-shot KO. So he ends up in a Coliseum where he goes through 10 different waves, and the waves are pretty ridiculous, all things considered. But there's this eagle that flies in the sky, and apparently, because at first you just kind of get like a quick montage, there's only really 2 fights we get set up in this episode, the first wave and then the last wave. The other ones are kind of like a quick montage, how many attempts and what they were. But what ends up happening is after the credits, we get to see just how disrespectful it actually was, because they pretty much show that the toxic poop would come down and kill him. But when you see it in execution and the number of tries, like this thing took him a hot minute to deal with. It's one thing to have like an opponent that's just so difficult to deal with, whether that's flying or just it's hard to get to where they are because like maybe they're across like a acid river or something and you just keep dying over and over. That's frustrating enough as a gamer. But when you have VR realism of an eagle toxic acid shitting on your face and it one-shots you over and over and over again, you can't look me in the eye and say that isn't one of the most disrespectful anime fights that you've seen. And holy hell, Sunraku has quite the opponent next episode. For a live reaction though to episode 7, that's Shangri-La Frontier Greatness, over on my Patreon if you would like to see that. It's over there if you're interested. Now this was a really cool fight and just episode in general, because there was a lot of fights actually. I mean, we finish up the kind of intro with obviously Cyger Zero coming in and saving the day and honestly unleashing her step on me kink, which, you know what, props to her. She wants that, go ahead. But boy, is she in for a rude awakening if she sends a friend request, because she's truly under the assumption in this kind of delusional La La Land that it's just he's looking at her with a loving embrace and she's pretty much lost in shoujo romance fantasy, when in actuality, her sending a friend request would probably get this exact response from Sunraku. Oh, that's the person who saved me. Yeah, no, I'm not going to accept this friend request because clearly they're just trying to get the information on the unique scenario, so I'm going to decline it and maybe even block them, and it would cut to her in an ER room because she would have had a heart attack on site. But bless her heart, she's hustling, she's cute, she's trying, and I respect the love hustle. But this was really cool because the idea of like a Coliseum training montage makes a lot of sense for a show like this. If he goes out and trains in the wilderness and dies, he can lose a lot of progress or equipment or who knows what could happen. I mean, literally right now, the only place that is a safe haven for him is the Bunny Village. He goes into any town, even if you can't PK in the middle of town, because most of these games prevent it, at the end of the day, he's gonna have eyes on him every which way he looks. Go in the wilderness, I mean, if monsters doesn't kill him, some crazy cult will kill him. So the only place he can really be at this current moment would be this village. So getting there safely and then throwing him into a Coliseum where it doesn't penalize you for getting killed, because usually in these types of games, if you're going into a training Coliseum, you should expect yourself to die over and over. Certain waves will be more stronger than others, of course, or more difficult. Like, look at the fact that the first wave that he dealt with is actually a lot more difficult than over half of the ones that he fought after that. Like, there was multiple where it was like 1 attempt or maybe 2 or 3 attempts. And yes, there was some where it was like 60 or, you know, probably infinity in terms of what we're about to deal with. But I like the fact that even though he's restricted with how much he's gaining experience-wise, like he only went up a couple of levels because of the collar and everything that's kind of restricting him right now. But at the same time, he gets to kind of like hone his craft without any real worry. But of course, there's naturally going to be that frustration. And the opponent that they're ending on, it seems interesting. Apparently he is the first person, and while they do confirm he wouldn't learn this until much later on in the anime, the idea that no one ever fought this opponent because, well, he's not only in a unique scenario that no one knows how to get to, in doing so, there's going to be a lot of different scenarios that will be a part of that as well that will be completely fresh, no one's ever seen it. And this thing's a level 120. It's basically Groot with a sorcerer's staff. This thing's going to be insane, 100%. But I do like the idea of how, like, they did have quite the variety of the 10 waves. Even if we didn't see all 10 waves in full, I think in terms of what they decide to flesh out more, I'm good with. The only one that was a bit of a shame we didn't get to see was, I think it was the second wave when it comes out. There's like 10 serpent heads and this mutated grizzly bear, and I'm like, bro, you said it was supposed to be 1 opponent and literally it's like 11. This is cheap as hell. Obviously, cut off the heads of the snake, that's probably most people's go-to thought when playing a video game, but the idea that, bro, like the fact that I didn't get to see that in full, but at least they showed me the shitting eagle, because that one was pretty savage in terms of the disrespect. The first one was cool because it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, you got this, bro. And then like 6 wolves come out, level 65 I think they were. At one point he throws his blade. I thought he was going right for the butthole because it was like zoomed in and just away. Got him in the shin or something like that. But it's cool the idea of like, okay, how is he going to deal with level 65s? Like they're just swarming him. Sure, he can deflect and maybe get a couple of stabs in, but the idea of going for the leader, the pack leader, once you kill that, which is probably weaker, but then buffs all the others, then all of them get uncoordinated and it's pretty much like you're one-shotting them. Very cool. I like all the different varieties that they went for. And once again, I'm surprised by how well and consistent the show continues to look. Even at face value, when not a lot's happening, the color palette and just the overall character designs, it feels like a world you want to jump into. When I think of shows like, say, Bofuri, right? Bofuri has a very beautiful world. Like, if you look at any individual background shot, half the time it's like, damn, that's your computer wallpaper right there. But I think a show like Shangri-La Frontier, it's not really about being necessarily beautiful, but more so poppy, visually just like captivating you and saying, damn, look at this color palette. It's just, you want to explore this world, not because it's like this jaw-dropping art design, but more so it's just like, okay, you know what? This has a vibe that really clicks with me, and I love the animation. I love the death effects, whether it's, I mean, at the beginning of this episode, when the mage launches her self-destruct attack, brilliant way to handle it. When we see the girl just kind of like phasing out, just there's a lot of really cool creativity with it, and it allows for it to kind of be savage without having to actually show blood. So it really lets them detail extra things, because rather than having blood squirting everywhere, we have like the glitching effects happen as we see like everything disintegrate. Really cool stuff overall. I'm really quite impressed with this show. Like, this is legitimately one of the most fun anime that you can watch this year. I think after watching now, 7 episodes of Shangri-La, I mean, I wouldn't change really anything about this. If this was only like, say, a 1-core season, then maybe I would have like, okay, maybe it would be nice to build in a little quicker to this or that. But no, the fact that we have 25 episodes of this greatness, I really think it's going to hold out visually even later into the 2nd core. The production is great. The music has me bobbing and weaving sometimes. The sound effects direction is solid. But most importantly, the fact that despite Sunraku mostly being around NPC characters, the fact that they are so realistic, it makes them feel like people, so it never really feels like he's talking to a robot, but more so, Emil as a character, you absolutely love. She's adorable, she's crazy, and she's just like the perfect, what should be mascot character, but actually fantastic character in general. It's just, the show's full of personality and charm, man. It's fun, it's to the point, it doesn't try to take itself too seriously. It says, no, this is characters playing a video game, but we're gonna make it feel like you understand why they're playing that video game, and it's just fun as hell to follow. It's like watching your favorite Twitch streamer in a way. Just with this, it's like, damn, if only technology could be like this for us. But thoughts, feeling yourself on this week's episode down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. Like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon if you're interested. And hey, while you're there, you also get a video shout out. So today we have Jesus Sakuda, Aiden, Luke Badalny, Brandon Cawthon, Ike Ickley, and Aeroplane Flane. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.